to
happen.
our spoiler. So if you haven't seen Erased, stop here. And don't click on the discussion video because you're probably just watching the short recommendation video.
I don't even know what spurg means. I just heard it used. I'm sorry if that's a really bad word or something.
Dude, it's okay. It's all about context.
So let's move on to the discussion section of Erased. And here's the thing. We've been talking about this for like weeks, so we actually have been discussing this. That's probably why
this is so hard.
Because we literally have done
I said everything I wanted to say.
So
like, it's hard to
if you want to hear even
whose idiot idea was it to make this an Erased review day?
I hate all you guys. I was trying to do it to appeal to the general audience before we just go off on...
Oh, you mean like we bash people for doing all the time?
Yeah. Well, Connor recommended we do this, so I took his recommendation.
Oh, so now you're just throwing Connor under the bus?
I am.
Damn. Oh, speaking of, we'll probably have a special guest next week.
Yeah. So
throwing and shilling with the shit posting here.
I know.
So if you want to hear our weekly thoughts and discussions about each episode,
they're probably more interesting than this.
They're probably more interesting.
What are we gonna title this video? Absolute shit.
We talk about shit that isn't erased in our Erased review. That was a really long... Just come up with a shitty light novel title about...
We just got back. We're sorry, man. We're rusty here.
It's been a while.
So...
been off the saddle too long.
Yeah, so let's discuss... So since we've been doing weekly discussions on this, let's do our actual discussion for the last couple of episodes, because we've actually done... And then let's do it for
people who have waited this far through it. What number would you give this?
I can't.
I gave it an 8. I gave it an 8.
I would give it a 7. Being nice, I would give it a 7.
Yeah, so the same thing I gave Konosuba and IBO, yeah.
Got it.
Really?
Konosuba?
We're gonna talk about that. I can't give this a score until I wait 3 months and watch it again. If I do that...
We're all waiting with bated breath.
I know. You're all so interested in what I have to say about this.
Okay, let's move on to spoiler talk and general talk. Because obviously we want to do it so bad.
I know.
Like this...
Oh, something really interesting. First... I have to
spoiler wall.
Spoiler wall. Okay, rip the animation in the second half of the last episode.
Really?
Did anybody else notice that?
No.
It got pretty bad.
I just noticed the stupid spiderweb bullshit. What the fuck was that?
Dude, yeah, that was
We want to be deep, so let's shove it right down your throat.
Do you remember the story? I'm pretty sure this is the anime that earlier on they tell this story about... spider webs hanging from people's heads and it being their lifeline or something.
It's during the whole entire backstory of it.
Why is there literal spider webs going into their head? What the fuck?
No, it's a symbolic gesture.
That was not symbolic. There was literally a spider that planted themselves into their brain and just crawled in.
Okay, I forgot that this was the anime that talked about the myth of the spiders and their webs. So I was like, dude, this is how he's gonna not fall off. He has a spider web. I thought it was some dumb lifeline.
Wait!
I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, I don't think...
Wait!
I was sitting there and I'm like...
I thought they had a crane or something.
Okay. So I was like, okay, I know I've watched an anime recently that talks about the myth of the spiderweb, but I don't think it was Erased. I think it was another one.
I just remember the one with the Buddhist spiderweb where he's like, oh, other people are climbing behind me, so I gotta kick them off kind of thing.
That one's different.
No, that's this
Is
anime.
this one?
Yeah.
I know plenty of stuff talks about
this
that.
Is why Dawson doesn't watch.
No, but that's the thing. I didn't remember that was from Erased, so I was like, okay, either they're doing some sick symbolism referencing him.
That has nothing to do with the situation.
No, it's a lifeline of it's just a string to heaven.
Well, I was really excited when I thought it was a different anime that talked about it, because I was like, dude, they're referencing something that I swear I saw in a different anime, but it was in the same anime, so that was sad. But then I was like, okay, is that a reference to the myth, or is this a crane that's gonna save him when he falls off?
So this is
I couldn't figure it out.
This is a thing where
a tiny thing for us to focus on.
I went through the threads. You know me. I go.
Sorry.
I'm gonna throw you.
They all went through the threads too.
So I went through all the Reddit discussion threads,
which they were obviously baiting with that scene. Just saying.
No, they weren't talking about that.
Wait.
No, I'm changing subjects already.
Why?
Wait,
Hold on, we
What?
have not finished this.
I still want to talk about how bad the animation was.
No, I'm gonna keep going with my
It
conversation with
shit
this.
itself really bad. Like, there was some frames
Are you,
that were
are you just
terrible.
gonna ignore how stupid that's like scene was?
No,
Like,
it's fine. I loved
everything-
it. I loved it.
You need me. Oh, I totally do need you though.
No, dude, I loved that scene.
See, that was the problem for me. I couldn't tell if I was just not emotionally invested because I hadn't watched Erased in a while, or if it was because it was a bad scene.
Oh, dude, I
problem.
wholeheartedly love that scene. Like, I was like,
That's such a generic thing to say, and I don't think.
No, because it's
Okay, his wheelchair falling with him totally could have killed any one of those people on the ground.
That is true.
Like, they're waiting there and all, but... Yeah.
They were spread out wide enough that it.
I guess they can dodge. You have enough time.
Yeah, but then one of them would drop the net.
I know. They killed him. This was badly thought
But
out.
Also, there was no net when he looked, and there were no people there.
Dude,
How-
they're really quick.
Just
They
to
run out
surprise
there.
them, they were like timing it. They're like, all right, we gotta wait for him to start dropping, then we'll all
Then
run
we'll
out with
run
the
out.
net.
It'll be genius.
All these untrained people just
I
like.
know. I know they're the ones to do that. Come on.
Also, how did they save the little girl who was dying after he crushed the phone?
They didn't explain.
I'm pretty sure that they anticipated it in
So
some way.
little happened.
Okay.
They didn't need a whole episode for that either. Like,
Okay, no.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
So basically, that section was just kind of him recovering, and then this like him like trying to be strong for this girl. It was just a little.
I mean, it
kid
was
moment.
enjoyable. I just wish they had actually capped it off somehow. Like, I
They
wish
saved it?
they were like, yeah, they saved her, but I don't know. They could have shown her again at least. Like, there wasn't a single frame that showed her.
How
after
did they save her?
Yeah.
I laced her medicine. Oh, we heard over the phone. No, the phone was broken. He destroyed the phone at that point.
And then, like, they're like, yeah, we didn't tell her about it because...
No, but they were prepping for surgery. She wasn't in mid-surgery.
I know I know they saved her. I
But they
know they
never
saved her.
mentioned
But
that.
they should have just, like... I don't know. They should have shown something.
Literally, all we get is how did her surgery go? He goes, oh, it went well.
Yeah. And that's a nice cap. It's like, okay, they
It's not a nice cap. That is not a nice cap.
No, because it's such a minute detail that I didn't mind it. And I was
Why
like,
would
okay.
they even
Why
Why would they even have him say that thing about him drugging it if they're
Because-
just gonna ignore it from then on?
No, because it was supposed to be like this whole setup of him like being able to like set up this whole plan of him committing suicide, doing all this stuff, and just to
But
be
why
able
build
to
that
push the-
tension if you're not going to answer it later on?
Also, you know what would have been hilarious?
On the
if
same
he was
episode.
wrong and the guy didn't try to save him, he just, like, throws himself off.
No, because then
And then they catch him, and then he's just standing there like, what the hell was that?
it was a gamble that he was taking.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying it would have been pretty funny.
He would have been able to get out of that situation.
Wait, why would he throw himself off? He would just.
Well, you know how he tried to, right? Like, when he was on the wheelchair, he does his whole, like, I'm gonna run up and try to throw myself, and the guy, like, catches him and holds onto his wheelchair, which physics
okay.
doesn't work like that, by the
So-
way. Like, you can't hold
Okay.
on to half the wheelchair and the whole thing stays
So-
there. It would have
Okay.
tipped him out of it.
So
But-
here's what I'm gonna go with on this.
Well, okay, so if the guy wasn't gonna stop him, the guy probably would have pushed him off.
That's
yeah,
true.
and it would still have been incriminating, either way. But
Just lied, though. Makes him no better than
Wait, how was the guy stopping him incriminating?
What?
Couldn't he just be trying to save his life?
Yeah, I know, right? He's like, no, you have something to live for. It's me.
It's me.
dude, did you see the fan art of like
Also,
the
did they ever
OTPs?
explain? They never explained why he was killing little kids.
Okay, wait. This is where I'm going with this. So I was on all the Reddit threads, and then there's always these little spoiler bits where it says manga spoilers here, and then I click on it and then read all of it.
Okay, read the manga is not a valid
No.
excuse.
So the thing,
That's very true.
So the thing is, there's a lot of sections where towards the end, they removed a lot of the stuff that was in the manga because it was a lot more darker tones. So they're like,
That's unfortunate.
So instead of what they did in the manga, they did the hamster bit where he killed the hamsters.
Oh, did he kill something that wasn't him? Actually, you know what?
Can
No.
I was
Don't spoil it.
I was gonna talk about it.
But we can't spoil. This is an anime review. We can't spoil the manga.
No, it's fine.
No, it's not.
No, it's fine.
We
So
already put up
anyway,
the spoiler wall.
Okay, second spoiler wall for the manga.
Spoiler wall.
So-
spoiler section, mother.
So here's the thing:
Let's go.
where a lot of the manga people, they said in some of the cases the manga did certain bits
Actually,
better.
wait, no, I really do want to read the manga for this.
Take down the spoiler wall.
No, I'm gonna
serious.
dude. I've been waiting to talk about this. I'm gonna explain this to Connor right
Okay,
here, right
you guys
now.
have fun with that.
He's going to hold his ears and go la 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 in the background.
I'm not gonna make noise with my mouth. I'll
But-
just hold my ears.
But
It'll work out.
okay,
This podcast is so
it's because we decided to start on a very
This
bad.
is worse than the Demon King podcast.
But nothing's worse than the Demon King podcast.
No, Connor. It's gonna get better once we stop talking about a race. So let's just keep powering through it.
Get through a race. I did not like this show, if you can't tell. That 7 was very gracious of me.
So anyway, about the manga, the ending in the manga is wait. Can I just say some stuff that is non-spoilery about the manga, Dawson?
It's anything you say about the manga.
I'm just saying that
spoilers.
the ending is only slightly different,
It's-
where
okay.
the main setup at the end is in a different location and the events unfold similarly but in different ways. Also, to answer Connor's question about a certain character,
Also, this character dies. Dawson's like, damn it.
a character that Dawson specifically likes in
Ears.
no. This is for Dawson, so you're actually more incentive to read the manga.
No,
No.
but I already have the incentive.
going to read it.
Wait, just hear,
he's going to
just,
read it.
I don't wanna know.
Just hear me out here. Just hear me out. Hear me out. A character that you actually like, Dawson, is featured more in the manga than is featured in the anime.
That's cool.
Okay, that's I have to say that. And you know if you
I know exactly who you're talking
because
about.
that ending bit
Because I'm actually gonna. That was one thing I really did like about the last episode.
because that last
The
minute
entire time I'm like, when are you gonna show
Because-
her? If
bec-
you don't show
yeah.
her, I'm gonna be so mad.
so that whole setup at
No,
the whole thing about that
Dawson, if they didn't show her, I would walk in and go, why the fuck didn't they show her? Like,
Yeah.
not mad, just that's
This-
what they were leading up to for like 5 minutes.
But here's the
Yeah.
thing, Dawson, where for people who watch the anime only, that for Connor, he just goes, what the fuck, why her? And then for people who read the manga, it makes more sense because she's featured more heavily in the manga than in the anime.
All I know is that she was great.
Also,
and
that
I
was an
like,
asshole to have her walk up at the last minute, too.
Oh,
Okay,
dude, I love
wait,
how she's
wait.
totally okay to like chill under a bridge with a creepy dude
Wait,
who's just been sitting
that
there.
is called the red string of fate that brings people
I-
together.
Don't agree with the string of fate bullshit.
we
People
can't.
are not that important in this universe.
The butterfly's fate. This show was about fate. That's what it was about.
It's about changing fate. He
We are-
changed it.
We are fucking automatons. Sorry.
Oh, also when the string was thrown up, I'm like, dude, Declan's here. I swear to God.
Okay. So now, Dawson, close your ears so I can now
Oh, this is
explain
like-
Close
to
your
Connor.
ears, Dawson.
Spoiler wall for the manga officially.
Whoop.
So Connor, the whole thing about him killing kids is that it's a lot more darker undertones because when he was a kid, his brother used to bully him, and then, wait, I'm not done. And then so his brother then eventually his brother stopped bullying him, but the way he got him. The way the brother decided to stop bullying him is that he would tell his brother, hey, you know those cute girls at your school? Bring them back home. Bring them back home for me. And so he would do that. He would bring
How much older is his brother than him?
a couple years.
Okay.
Not like adult. Like it was high school, middle school. Like it was like probably like middle school, elementary school, probably transition. And then the brother would take these girls and touch them inappropriately, and do stuff to them. And then one time, his brother accidentally killed one of the girls, and his brother forced the teacher to bury the girl. And then this kind of really messed him up, and like seeing all of this stuff really messed him up as growing up and stuff like that. Eventually, I forgot what it was specifically, but like his brother dies in some way, shape, or form. I think he does it, or he accuses his brother. I don't remember. It was a thread that I read a couple weeks ago. But then the really interesting bit is that he actually was living a quite decent life. But just like a character in JoJo, he kind of has some weird fetishes and desires. In JoJo Part 4, we'll see a similar character where he actually has a fiance, has a successful job, but then his fiance kind of he kind of kills like this little girl. Like he takes
Why?
on and kills just because of like past and some of like the the stuff that rubbed off from his brother and stuff like that. He kind of takes a little and then accidentally kills her, buries her, and his fiance kind of gets suspicious and finds out. So he kills his fiance and just ducks out of town. But then he continues doing that.
So there's something wrong with his brain, basically.
Yeah, there's something very wrong with his brain.
Got it.
And it's mainly due to his brother.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, that explains that. There's still so much more bullshit in the ending, but...
But does that
yes,
does that,
I understand.
Like, his backstory's a lot better.
He's just fucked up.
Yeah, he's very fucked up. Okay, Dawson, you can now unplug your ears.
You can tell it worked that way.
Okay.
I mean, at least Takano has a clear motive at that point, but...
Yeah, well, they kind of gave a motive of some point, but they had to lighten up the undertones because showing exactly what I just described to you on television would probably be not okay.
Yeah. Even in the manga, though, I don't really see that as a good... Whatever. Moving on.
Oh, something interesting happened.
Do you want to talk about the shitty animation, Dawson?
I mean, there's not much else to say besides it really was pretty shitty.
So keep going.
But something interesting happened when I was watching... Okay, the scene in the last episode when the ending music's playing, and they are... the main character and his best blonde sidekick friend are walking...
Blonde sidekick friend.
Are walking
Oh, we have
away
to
from...
talk about something after this.
Okay. Speaking of best
keep going,
blonde
keep going.
but as they're walking along, I'm sitting there, and suddenly I decided to give Anohana an 8 instead of a 7. I don't know why. I was just sitting there watching it, and I was like, Anohana was pretty good. And then I decided to give it an 8. It was a really weird moment, but I just knew I had to do it.
No, don't worry. I have those moments too where I watch them and I'm like, that should go down a bit. Or it's like when I was watching Asterisk, I said, I know. Kusumadoshi.
What could this have to do with that?
I think I was like watching the Friends reunion, and then I started thinking, and I was like, it actually is a really weird thing to think about, like, two grown people, like, meeting up in a childhood. Like, I started to think about, like, my own haunts as when I was a kid, and, like, what it would be like to go there and, like, be in the same place with one of the same people. I was like, oh, in Anohana, they go to they have their clubhouse, and they all go back there when they're older, and then I started thinking about it, it's like, Anohana was really good. I should actually give it an 8.
Yeah, no, dude, I get what you mean. It's like...
Keep going.
It's like when I was watching Asterisk, and then
my tangent.
It's like when I was watching Asterisk, and I said, you know what, Kusumadoshi Kusen deserves like a 5 or 0.5.
I would rather watch Asterisk than Kusen Madoshi Kusen.
I had more enjoyment with Kusumadoshi.
Okay, segue from that. The word cuck has been thrown around very often in these past few weeks or months. Yes. It is the internet's new fag.
That's
basically.
The problem with that anime, because apparently the relationship between him and another character is
Despite
a lot
the
better.
Fact they were 10.
No. Him and another character was better than him and Hinazuki the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the manga, the relationship is portrayed a lot better and focused on a lot more.
They have way too many romantic tones throughout the childhood. To, like... I felt like they were building up to some sort of romance between the two of them, despite the fact he was way older. And I know that, like, turns out really creepy at the time, but it's almost more of a, this is me going to relive my life, in a sense. And speaking of the whole age differences being creepy, I found it really weird that they didn't really focus on him being a child in an adult's body later on. They just kind of seemed to understand that he was an adult at that point, which was kind of odd
I
for
was
me.
thinking about that too. I was like, wait, in a normal situation, shouldn't he still have the mind of a
29-year-old?
Yeah.
Now,
because when he didn't have his memories back yet,
okay,
he would have had the mind of like a 14-year-old.
Yeah, that's true.
13, 12,
But that's
10.
no. I totally disagree with that, because even when he was back then being a kid and stuff, it was still his adult self doing all that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like everyone else should think he is like that. Is that what you mean, or?
Well, no. People should be treating him
like a kid,
like he was 10 or whatever. I forget how old he was.
Yeah.
But Also, he didn't have his memories back yet, so as far back as he could remember, it seemed like it was just when he didn't remember that he had gone back in time yet. I don't know.
You know, I'm
not
feeling
sure
the
on
same
that
thing
one.
about Nagino Asakura now. I respect how they treated the character who grew up,
Yeah.
or what's it called? Like,
Connor's
who's
sitting
older.
here like, I think Nagino's 1 point higher now.
Well, no, I always liked the main character of Nagino Asakura.
Yeah.
There's other things that just dragged it down to the depths for me. No pun intended.
Hey, red hair.
No, we're moving on. Do you guys think
Continue.
he was cheated on?
No.
No and no. Okay.
No.
Cool.
We've had this in-depth discussion. No.
So, my issue with it still is...
We're going back to the second to last episode here.
Yes, the second to last episode that caused the first big stir.
Where we figure out that Hinazuki has gotten together with
The trap.
the trap character.
My big issue is, what are the fucking chances? Honestly.
I don't know.
I think it makes a lot of
it
sense
makes a
to
lot
me.
of sense. And if you
don't-
go with the red line of fate, this is...
Okay, my argument is completely separate from Andrew's as of this point.
Hey, remember that terrific event where
Split.
one of our friends died? Oh yeah,
Okay.
that makes me feel so hot
I
inside.
have two...
It's obviously not.
I have
And she
two-
showed no interest towards him when they were kids.
I have 2 points.
None.
Here. I have
So
two separate points that I will make. One
go first.
is the red line of fate. Let's go with the
Red string of
the
fate.
red string of
It's
fate.
the official term.
The red string of fate. Let's just say it would make sense because in this timeline, those characters are dead. Or in the original timeline, those characters are dead. So if they were to be alive, they would end up together. So it would just make sense to not disrupt what the you know combination.
The flow of time is.
Flow
I
of time
disagree
is.
with both of those points.
But anyway, on my
you
second
have more
point,
to say? Oh, I
on
thought
my
that was
second-
both.
That
your
was
points.
1 point,
That
Dustin.
was 1 point.
Are you even listening? Come on.
On my other point,
Wouldn't that be 3
that
points?
isn't complete BS that I made up on the spot right here to be symbolic and edgelordy.
But
No,
that's
it's
just like
it for me. It just it's one of those things where
okay.
it's one of those things is that the whole point of him was that he brought her into this group of friends, and that they ended up being this kind of close group of friends to her. Like, he actually brought her into the group, and these group of friends actually stayed together. And the thing is, over time, they probably had their moments, they probably had times together, and they probably ended up falling for each other at some point. And yes, there was, it didn't build up to there, but this has been 15 years. A lot happens in a span of 15 years that isn't just... Like, it didn't have to be back when they were kids when this happened.
As MC says, 15 years is a long time.
Yeah,
At
15
least I think.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 years is a very long time for two characters.
Here's a different look at that. What was the point of that character even existing? Or her having a baby at all?
So,
Of the trap character existing.
So
What did that add to the story?
that it was part of the story of him trying to save them. Like, he wanted to save his friends from the past, and he was able to do that.
So is it saying basically she's happy because she has a kid?
Oh, wait, what do you mean?
Like, what... By making her have a kid, for one thing, and by even including the trap friend for another, seeing as they did nothing with him except have him marry her later, and then them have the kid, wouldn't it have been better to remove the trap character as a whole and just have her date the blonde guy instead? And B, why did she have a kid in the first place when that didn't really add anything to the story either?
It added to the story. Okay, in this version of the story, not the manga version, because the way he regains his memories is totally different in the manga that I will not reveal so Dawson could actually have that moment for him, because it's a really good moment that comparative to the anime, where in the anime he regains his memory from seeing the child. That's how he regains the memory. So this kid is the one that jumpstarts his memories back from the past.
I think they use the kid actually as a point of saying, okay, look, she's found a successful, happy marriage.
It's not pedophilia, guys, I swear. Sorry.
Wait, what?
No, it's like they were trying to move away from his crush on her, is
Oh.
what I think they were trying to do there.
Oh. I just kind of took it as, I think it made a decent amount of sense for me that two people who were linked together for a rather emotional event like that when they were kids probably didn't have a decent amount of contact with each other for 5 years or so. I don't know how many years. Like, I don't think they got together until quite a bit later.
It's 15
And I'm assuming
years.
it was at some sort of reunion or something like that, and they meet each other again, they start talking, and they click.
Yeah, exactly.
That happens to people all the time.
That was my second point that actually made more sense than my first BS point that I wanted to make.
In a narrative, it's more about
From a narrative perspective, I mean, I think the real point of it was to show that she had found what one might consider a successful, happy life, as much as maybe a kid doesn't always.
She found a happy family that she didn't have beforehand.
For me, and a lot of people I know, a child does not symbolize a happy life. But
I don't think so either.
But hold it. Moving back to my original point, why does the trap character exist?
Why does the trap character exist?
What the fuck was the point of it? He was just another person that the whole kidnapper went to. So I guess it...
I mean, he was...
I guess it left it being two other people besides her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
made it about more than just her.
So it actually led it to be a duty instead of having... They would have had to make the other character more important if they did that.
Exactly.
And it's the exact point later on where the teacher says, he's like, okay, you saved Hanazuki, that made sense. But then when you saved those other people, that didn't make any sense.
It's like you know the future.
It's like you know the future.
What?
I kind of do.
Man, you'd think someone who could see the future would be able to tell him a pedophile. So, when freaking candy falls out of my...
I know.
That was a purpose red herring.
Purposely.
Non-red herring that was a red herring that was a red herring.
I know, I'm just making shit up now. I'm not even going to reference the other thing that happened in that episode.
No, go for it.
No.
Go for it.
No, I'm done.
Something else happened?
I'm done. Let's move on to Konosuba.
Go. What is your point?
What do I need to make
about?
Another point?
Yeah, make it. Go for it.
Okay.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Go for it. Talk about it.
Okay, that's a different episode.
No.
That's a different
We've already
episode.
had our long argument.
That was the same episode.
No, it wasn't.
No,
when the
it wasn't.
candy falls out is a different episode.
No,
We already had our
fine,
long
it was
discussion
TJ.
about the seatbelt.
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Go back and watch our other shit.
Yeah, fuck this.
It's not as shitty as
retarded.
this.
Actually, I think it started to improve halfway through this.
That was a terrible
Sorta.
fucking scene.
I guess.
We're really rusty after spring break and finals. It's a time of adjustment.
I really want to move on from this show. I'm sorry.
It's been too long
I
since
didn't
I
enjoy the
watched
ending.
Oliver Raced. I can't.
I
Yeah,
thought you guys
just-
were vastly overrating the show throughout the whole experience. And
It's-
you're like, this is the best thing, and I'm like,
I can't tell if it was good. I have to go back and rewatch it, and then I'll make a decision about it later.
I enjoyed it fully from start to finish. So
we should have watched an episode of Divine Gate before we did this.
No, we shouldn't have.
Andrew, do you agree with me on that, though?
Oh, dude, we have so much Divine Gate to catch up. There's 3 episodes now.
Cool, this is a perfect segue away from Erased.
So
So let's
now
finish up.
Now that we're done with Erased, this first hour is gonna be trash
That was
compared to the
quick.
second hour.
Also, I love how the blonde kid, was, super built up as this mysterious, why is he so smart as a kid character, and then they totally don't do anything with that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So now that we're done with Erased, from what you've gathered from this discussion,
Also,
is
remember
that
the pizza manager? What did they do with that character? Nothing. Sorry.
This is the problem with watching things episodically.
I'm sorry.
I don't notice these
They dropped
things.
so many characters, that's all I'm saying. That didn't do
I
shit.
forget about
Okay,
the characters
Come-
by the
Dawson,
next week.
Dawson, this is a problem. This, okay, let me just
This
say
is
this.
highly a personal problem.
Yeah, this is a highly personal problem because I'm able to comprise all the.
I can't say anything meaningful about this show. Like, that's the biggest problem here, is because I don't remember.
Why did we do a full review of something we were talking about weekly?
Don't ask me why, okay? It's because we did.
This is a shit show.
This is goddamn terrible. God awful.
Let's move on.
Enjoy.